So about 18,000 employees, $3 billion in revenue, largest North American auto auction network in North America. And we were facing a problem with determining how much skilled labor and equipment we needed across our 50-plus US auto auction sites. And my specific task and role was in planning and analytics to help plan for skilled labor and equipment across these auto auctions. So we're facing these challenges. We had high amounts of growth, and we weren't able to fully support this growth. We were running into operational challenges. We had high overtime. We weren't meeting our customer service level agreements. So I was tasked with determining what was the optimal level of equipment and people based on our historical averages and models of demand and supply. So what we started doing is migrating off of Excel and building it into Python, right? We were using Excel and Alteryx to update our data, build our models. That wasn't working. We started migrating into Python so we could increase the velocity and speed and complexity of the questions we were answering. And the next step to that was considering how do we visualize this and make this interactive, right? And in the Python space, like you've got a number of different dashboarding, web framework libraries out there, but the one we knew of and that was most popular, most customizable was Dash. We started going to Dash open source and we weren't able to fulfill all the customer demands. So in terms of two aspects, one is security. As many enterprises have concerns about security. We were using the open source software. I was managing authentication. It wasn't a great experience. We needed to upgrade and have a path so that we can integrate with our existing security tools like Okta and our own authentication. And then secondly, we needed the application to look and feel like other data applications that we had within our portfolio so that it could increase trust and user adoption across our 50-plus sites and corporate leadership. To accelerate this, we decided to upgrade to go from Dash open source to Dash enterprise. One, it was like fairly seamless, and secondly, we were able to fulfill the requirements of the theming and branding and as well the security. So this is a GIF of one of two main pages. So this is the multi-site view. So this view was built with two main users in mind, our corporate and our regional leaders. And with our corporate and regional leaders, what they really needed to do was at a slice of time, be able to see demand and supply and capacity across multiple auctions at a time. So here we're selecting a time frame. So this is April 2023. We're selecting my region. We're in Georgia, so we're in the southeast. And as you can see, it's pretty quick, but you can see red, yellow, green. At a quick snapshot, you can look, hey, in my region, these auctions we have concerns about. I need to double click on them. Or these auctions are green. Maybe we need to bring in more demand or shift demand, right? And you can also click on all auctions. So as you can see here, 2 points here. One is the speed. Like you can see that as we click and as we change things, models rerun, things regenerate. So it's very fast, it's real time. And secondly, it's on brand with our other internal data applications. We've got, as you can see on the left-hand corner, the little M, that's the Manheim brand. The colors match, the look and feel match other applications that we use internally. The next slide I'm going to show is our single site application, and this is the last of the two main pages in our application. And this is what's built for two main purposes. One is for a site's users and leaders from the general manager on down to be able to really see that capacity over time at their site. And secondly, it was built to be able to do scenario planning. And the way we define scenario planning is we feed the model with good defaults of data and demand and forecasts, but with scenario planning, you can change this. So in here, you can see that you've got some data cards showing data and graphs on like how we're doing in terms of capacity. If you click on scenario planning, there's a number of different inputs we can change. In this specific use case, they're changing proficiency. So proficiency is a term very specific to the auto industry, but it's a measure of the efficiency of how efficiently a technician can convert their own hours into billable hours. So if you've ever gone to a dealership or a mechanic shop, you maybe get billed hours. These are like industry standard terms, right? Like if you get billed 2 hours, if a technician can do that 2 hours in 1 hour, they're 200% proficient, right? So in this case, they're increasing their proficiency. So in this fictitious example, we're investing heavily in IT and process improvement so that they can be more efficient. And as they do so, it changes the amount of capacity available to bring in new demand. So this is just one instance where we can show that scenario planning is very useful as things are very dynamic and change. So that was very useful for two main purposes. Right? One is to be able to, in real time, see changes in a situation, and you can model that. And secondly, be able to do that, be able to change inputs and see the output in increased user adoption and trust, because people can link the input with the modeling that we conducted mathematically with their understanding, and they could trust the outputs because they saw in real time and with their own inputs how that changed the outputs. This is the last slide. Just to reiterate, we had a problem planning equipment and labor across our 50-plus auto auction sites, and we turned to Python and Dash Enterprise and the Plotly Professional Services team to be able to help us accelerate the development of an application and a process to answer the questions that our business has. So I'll reiterate the question if you couldn't hear. The question is, when we moved from Dash open source to Dash Enterprise, why did we do that? And why did we do so? And what were the key features that led us to do so? So I think the two main features that we talked about, and there's other features as well. One is security. You've got built-in integration with the existing authentication and software, security software already out there. So for us, we use Okta. It integrates very seamlessly with Okta so that we can ensure that everyone who's authenticated within our network can use the Dash Enterprise as long as they're provisioned. And secondly, the theming aspect. There's specific Dash Enterprise libraries, Dash Design Kit, that allows us to theme very easily and seamlessly so that the application can be on brand. Great question. The question is, how did we improve performance of the application versus, say, like Tableau, Power BI using Dash, right? I think the key feature that led us to go to Dash open source and Dash Enterprise is this idea of being able to use callbacks and be able to rerun Python models in the back end. So you change an input and you can run a whole series of models that are invisible to the user, but run very quickly in Python, mathematical models, and regenerate outputs, right? It's very difficult to do that in Power BI and Tableau. And then as well, secondly, because you're writing this all in Python, you can customize the application so it looks and feels and operates in a manner that you're not constrained by these GUI-based tools like Tableau and Power BI.